Let's get to the details of attack chain modeling in this video. Let's unpack what is attack chain first. An attack chain describes the typical chain of events during an attack that leads to organizational damage. This includes technical and non-technical steps taken by adversaries or insiders during the attack. It's important to note that there is no single linear path for either insider risk or external attacks. There are many common elements across attacks, but each one can take a unique path. The diagram on the screen is taken from the MCRA that depicts common techniques related to both external attacks and insider risk. The top portion of this diagram represents common steps seen in many external attacks and the Microsoft capabilities that map to each step. The bottom portion shows the insider risk leading indicators and how Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management will help quickly identify, triage, and act on risky user activity. Most external attacks include common steps and follow common patterns that are depicted in the diagram. Most of the variation in external attacks comes from the use of different entry points. Attacks also differ based on the different objectives of the attackers, like stealing data, encrypting data, and disrupting business. Most external attacks that result in a major incident include some form of privilege escalation using credential theft, which is mitigated by securing privilege access. Have a look closely on the slide and understand how Microsoft tools can assist to address insider and external threats. Tools that are mentioned on the diagram, such as Defender for Office 365, Defender for IoT, Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Cloud, Defender for Identity, Microsoft Entra ID Protection, and Defender for Cloud Apps require additional license and will need proper planning considering the cost elements as well. And usually, it would be Cybersecurity Architect who looks after the planning and design consideration for these tools. You should spend some additional time to scan through those tools and documentation, understand what is provided by each tool and how it can be used to control the attacks. Let's unpack few kill chain framework that you need to know. The diagram on the screen shows three different types of kill chain framework that are mostly used and discussed in the industry. PETA is the simple model for business leaders and other non-technical stakeholders. It stands for Prepare, Enter, Traverse, Execute. This kill chain is developed by Microsoft. MITRE ATT&CK framework is the detailed model for technical detection, coverage, assessment, and plannings. Many organizations use the MITRE ATT&CK framework today for detailed control planning like a threat detection coverage. Lockheed Martin created one of the first adaptation of the kill chain military concept to cybersecurity. This concept of a cybersecurity attack chain help organizations understand attacks and plan security controls by viewing attacks as a sequential chain of events. The diagram also describes how these three kill chains relate to each other. Attackers can choose different techniques to achieve each goal of prepare, enter, traverse, and execute objectives. Attackers may also use a combination of techniques or the same technique over and over again, iteratively to achieve their objective. On the screen, you can see that these blue boxes actually represent the PETA kill chain framework: prepare, enter, traverse, and execute. These are the four columns, and underneath each column, you can see that reconnaissance weaponization is basically coming from the Lockheed Martin chain, which map to prepare phase of the PT framework, as well as reconnaissance and resource development also is mapped to the prepare phase of PT framework, right? Likewise, you can see in the interface, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control is mapped to the interface under the PT framework, and the initial access and rest of the other phases that you see here is again mapped to the interface. So you can understand how these phases are related to their respective techniques. These are basically the different types of techniques used by the attackers. So my suggestion would be, get on the Google page, search for the MITRE ATT&CK framework, search for the Lockheed Martin kill chain and the PT framework, and make yourself aware on what are the different things that is basically covered under each techniques. Industry uses the MITRE attack framework, widely. And my suggestion would be you spend a lot of time scanning through all the techniques provided under each phase, under the MITRE framework. Lockheed Martin, kill chain, and PT, I haven't come across a lot that people are using. I think previously it used to be, but right now, most of the discussion is around the MITRE attack framework actually. That's all pretty much in this video. Hope you got a good understanding around now the different toolkit as well as attack chain, framework.